Hello. We are back. We are very back. How's everybody doing? I see already 4 people in here. Hi everyone. We are watching this stream again, starting soon. So while we wait, please tell me where you're from, where you're tuning in from. And I'm very curious whether you are a Prime Master community member or you're just tuning in on YouTube. So tell me in the chat if you are a member or not. Hi Nico, how you doing? Been a long time no see, huh? Nice, nice. Hello Kamal, hello UC. Helsinki, nice. Alright, good to have you guys. I'm really excited for this announcement today. I'm gonna shut up.
Welcome to day 5. Today is about making ChatGPT even easier to use. Our friends at Apple are releasing the ChatGPT integration in iOS for iPhone and iPad and also on macOS. We really want to make ChatGPT as frictionless and easy to use everywhere. We love Apple devices, and so this integration is one that we're very, very proud of. You can use it without an account. If you have an account, it'll be even better. And I think we should just jump right in and show you how it works.
Yeah, cool.
So this is Dave.
I'm Dave. I'm from the engineering team. As Sam says, we love Apple devices. I've been using one for 30 years on lots of Apple devices.
Wow, me too.
Yeah. On lots of Apple devices now, you will be able to invoke ChatGPT directly from the operating system. So this will work on iPhone, on iPad, and on Mac. We've got 3 different integrations starting today, and we're going to show you all of them today. The first is Siri. So when Siri thinks that it would be helped by giving a task over to ChatGPT, it can just hand it off. The next is writing tools. So writing tools in Apple Intelligence lets you refine documents and summarize them, get key points. But now you can also use ChatGPT to compose a document from scratch, which is super cool. And also, we've got camera control on the iPhone 16, which lets you invoke visual intelligence, where you can use ChatGPT to learn more about the thing that you're looking at, which is super cool. So this is McDonald from the product team who's going to show us some of this stuff.
All right, let's open up our iPhones a little bit. So now that I have this thing up, there's a couple things that you want to pay attention to. Once you get the iPhone, the first thing is that you have to enable Apple Intelligence. So we'll go into settings, and we will go right into Apple Intelligence and Siri. I'll enable Apple Intelligence, which I have already, and then as I scroll down, the new ChatGPT extension is now available.
So cool, that's just ChatGPT.
When we open it up, you're going to be able to enable ChatGPT, log into your account. In this case, I'm already logged in. And then there's also this option for you to confirm ChatGPT requests. So anytime, as Dave mentioned, Siri thinks, hey, this is a good idea to ask ChatGPT, it will prompt you to do so before you send your information over. And then you'll also have access to the app, which you can update, install, or open directly from here. But I've got this all set up, so let's go back into our main screen. And I feel like we're in a festive mood here.
Yeah.
Something's going on. So let's maybe get a Christmas party organized. And there's a quick shortcut. If you want to go directly to ChatGPT, you can just ask Siri to ask ChatGPT. So I'm going to invoke Siri, new rainbow thing shows up. Can you ask ChatGPT to organize a Christmas party for us? So right away, we see the working with ChatGPT. It's going to go back and forth, and I'm going to get a response. In this case, I see a whole bunch of different things, guest list, music and entertainment. Sam, any follow-ups?
Can we ask it for that holiday playlist?
Yeah, let's do that. Can we get a holiday playlist made? And I don't know about you guys, but there's one song I'm specifically looking for, and it is number 1.
Okay, it's number 1. If Mariah Carey weren't there, I think we'd have to file a bug.
Yeah, I think this is a good solid list. I like it. I want to be able to edit more in the ChatGPT app. So there's this blue icon at the bottom that says ChatGPT. If I click on that, it's going to open up ChatGPT with all of my conversation already integrated.
So cool.
And I can do the normal things of saying, hey, like add emoji to my playlist. And it'll do that. But I think what we need is a little bit more of a festive thing. So I'm hoping
festive.
this is festive, but let's make a album art cover. So let's make an album art cover. And
It would
for
be
some
cool if
reason,
you
I
could
don't know
like
why,
put together the
but I'm
Spotify
feeling
playlist.
as though a Froge would really make it pop.
I'm having the same feeling too.
Yeah, I don't know, it's something in the background, but I feel like a Froge, include a Froge in the cover.
Do you think ChatGPT knows what a
Surely
Froge
not.
is?
Surely not. Let's see what comes through. And we've got ourselves
A beautiful.
We do have faster image gen coming. I think.
always great to see this come through. Hey, here we
Hey,
go.
there's a Froge.
Giant happy Froge in the middle with holiday vibes. I think we've got the makings of a party. And as we're in already a festive mood, I'd love to like get the visual intelligence part of this rolling. I think we should have a Christmas sweater contest, and I think ChatGPT should help us rank who's most to least fun. In preparation for this, I feel like the right move is to let Santa dance. So
If you're bringing your A game for the sweater contest, I will do the
I feel a
same.
little outgunned here. I don't do anything.
so I'm gonna long press on the camera control button, and I've got the visual intelligence set up.
And now we can see our lovely camera crew
Yeah,
too.
we're gonna break the fourth wall for a second. Can everybody
Hey
wave?
guys.
So let's zoom in on our little picture here, and I'm gonna press this ask button, and that'll ask ChatGPT directly. First thing it's gonna do is it's just gonna like identify some of the things going on in the picture. My poor Santa's got covered, so we'll see how this goes. We're having a Christmas sweater contest. Make that on the left, Dave in the middle, and Sam on the right. Rank, judge?
Judge, right? Because we don't judge.
We listen, but we don't
That's
judge. Rank us from most to least fun. All right, moment of truth here. Sam wins?
I file a bug for that.
So I'm last.
All
The sweater
sweaters
features a more traditional design with a subtle festive pattern. What?
Hang on, scroll down. Wait.
All the sweaters have their charm, but Sam stands out as the most fun with its bold
Let me tell
pattern.
you something. Someone bought like 3 options for me. I had to just pick right before this which one I was going to wear, and I thought that if I was going to win, it was because it was different. And you know,
Let's make a trophy
For Sam.
image for Sam. I was not expecting this result.
I really thought the LEDs
The
were
lights,
gonna
I
do
thought we
thought-
were going to do something.
I thought you guys were going to.
Congratulations, sweater champion.
That's a cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, so we've got the fun part of it taken care of. Wind out of my sails, and I'm gonna move Santa into a slow dance.
Yeah.
I just
now.
want to say I feel like that was very unjust.
I appreciate you, Sam. But we'll pass to Dave now, who's gonna show us how we can use Apple Intelligence to get back to work.
Yeah, so fun and games are over. If I'm back at my Mac, just like McDodd showed earlier with the iPhone, if you go into System Settings, you can enable Apple Intelligence. And so right here, we've got Apple Intelligence enabled, and new in macOS 15.2 Sequoia that we didn't have before is the ChatGPT extension. So just like on the iPhone or iPad, you can use this fully anonymous or with an account. We've got here an account that we have linked. And what's really cool is now that I've enabled Apple Intelligence, I can invoke Siri or writing tools from just about any application. And it's super easy to invoke Siri. So I've disabled Hey Siri so that all of the MacBooks and iPhones in this room don't go off at once. But you can type to Siri now. So if you either click on the little Siri icon on the top right or hit the Command key twice, it brings up the little Siri prompt.
It's really cool.
And again, like anytime Siri thinks, ooh, this is a complex task, maybe I should get ChatGPT's help with it, it'll hand it off, it'll ask for confirmation, but then get the help of our super powerful models to make it happen. So what are some places where we might use this? Well, gosh, in catching up on all of our launches this week, I've got here the O1 system card.
49-page system card.
49-page PDF. So I've opened this in preview, but again, like in any application, I can just double tap the command key to bring up Type to Siri. How about this? This doc is super long. How did they get the model to be so good at coding? Oh, I spelled model wrong, that's why.
Oh, it cannot detect typos? That's pretty bad.
You know what? I wasn't in the system card, so let me make sure we get the right credit. So what happens is Siri recognizes, okay, this is a complex task. Let's send it off to ChatGPT. But before we do, it wants to know, do we want to send any of the content that I'm looking at as part of the request? And we can either send the screenshot or the full 49-page PDF.
Send it all.
Send it all. At all times, I'm in control of what I share with ChatGPT. And so now we're uploading this whole document for ChatGPT to process along with my query of like, how in the world did they get this model so good at coding? And awesome, there's the answer. Maybe this saves me a good bit of time. McDonald showed earlier on the iPhone that if you tap this little ChatGPT button down at the bottom, it will open this in ChatGPT. And that's super cool because then I get to save it for later. I get to continue the conversation. I get to do more with it. So like one of the cool things I might do now that I have it saved here and it shows up in my sidebar over there is, okay.
As a side note, the ChatGPT desktop app is so good now. If you've not tried
so
it yet,
good.
you should.
It's so good. I'm a more visual learner. Can we make a pie chart of the respective influence of each of the techniques on making it good at coding? And so this is just picking up where we left off. It already has the full PDF. It's able to read through it again, analyze it, reason about how, I guess, like the relative ranks and importance of each of the different techniques here, and ultimately write some code to help visualize it.
Cool.
And I'll check with our colleagues over on the reasoning team if this is representative, but this helps me better understand the paper, which is super cool. So all of this from just about any application on your Mac, with you everywhere, in your iPhone, in your pocket. And we're hoping that a lot of folks who maybe are already using ChatGPT are now getting to use it in more places with less friction.
Yeah, so we're thrilled about this launch, or this release. This button makes it really easy to talk to ChatGPT. This button makes it easy for ChatGPT to look at something for you. We hope you love it. Grateful to our friends at Apple, and have a good day.
Oh, that was quick. Okay, so let's talk about it. I mean, this is something that Apple already announced with Apple Intelligence when they launched it at WWDC earlier this year. So I don't think there was anything new. Maybe the integration with ChatGPT, I didn't quite catch that one from Apple. So yeah, there we have it. What do you guys think? I feel a little bit underwhelmed by this. Partially because it's already been announced by Apple, and I think the things they said were what they showed is like that's not the point of having a Siri integration, and this is so like here on my phone I have this little icon that I can just tap and it starts the voice conversation with ChatGPT. Right, so as soon as I tap it, I have the voice mode on. So I don't have the integration either because I live in Europe. So there's no Apple Intelligence here. That's why I was like looking down when they were making the announcement that I was looking into my Apple Intelligence settings. Let me check again. So it's more just like, to me, it looks like this. I'm not sure if I can show it. Right, so Apple Intelligence. But there is no ChatGPT here. And the thing is, I cannot change the Apple Intelligence to be just as easily as you could say, do a VPN to pretend to be in the US and register to like Sora, which I couldn't still do. But here you have to like change the store country. So yeah, that's a little bit more challenging because then it just cancels all of your subscriptions as well. So yeah, that's a problem. So for this one, I will just have to wait to have it available in Europe as well. But I mean, the way I want to use ChatGPT is so that it's like Apple Intelligence, so that I don't have to open the file and then send it that way, because what they showed is like, oh, they have the file open and they can just like send it to ChatGPT. Well, that's pretty much the same as what you can do if you just open ChatGPT and attach the file. So maybe it's a little bit of like convenience, but that's not the kind of things that I would use ChatGPT for. What I would love for it to do is if I say, hey, ChatGPT, let's, we talk about something. And then I want to say, okay, now create an event and invite, my family to that event about what we talked. And then it would go in the calendar and actually make the integration. Or if I talk about like certain reminders, then it could just go and make the reminders for me. So I think the thing that they're really missing here is the actual capabilities that I need to control my phone and to make things easier, because talking to ChatGPT I already have it on this action button on the side. So it's not necessarily something that I need. The photo stuff that they took, I could just open a ChatGPT app and just take a photo that way. So what I would love to see is like more functions that I couldn't do before, right? So that's why I feel a little bit underwhelmed by this announcement. But I mean, it looks like they put it together really well, and with the ChatGPT integration that you can open the conversation and keep going, that's really nice. But I would love for it to have more control and agency over my phone and my different built-in apps, for it to be able to send emails. So like, if I get an email, I would want to be there and like I read it and then I say, okay, ChatGPT, now just respond with whatever I want. And then it would just phrase the response and send it. But again, sometimes it's just easier to just say what I mean and not use ChatGPT for that. So this is the kind of, like a little bit of like differences. Like what I want is really to be able to take actions on my behalf, which is like the agentic function that maybe we're just not there yet. I don't know. But I mean, Siri can already do it. My biggest problem with Siri is that it just misunderstands my requests all the time. Right, so here when they were, and I just made a slight comment about it, I'm just scrolling back to Livestream. All right, so here.
What we need is a little bit more of a festive thing. So I'm hoping.
Right, so they were already adding the emojis here, but let's say here. Right, so it says this tune should create a warm, festive atmosphere for your party. Right, then my next prompt would be, okay, make this playlist for me in Apple Music or in Spotify. Right, so it's like having the playlist is like, thank you, it's not that big of a deal, but like the text. But if it would like, okay, here's the playlist with the 15 songs, it's right in there in Spotify, and then I saved myself like 15 minutes searching for each song, then that's something that's valuable. That's something that's like really, really cool and good. What do you guys think? I see Kamal says, technically it is feasible if it launches an OpenAI exploitation system that integrates all these features you're talking about. Exploitation system? What do you mean by that? Yeah, Nico says, yeah, I was brainstorming with the chat feature in the car, but then things would come up in the conversation that I would need to be reminded to act on when I park. Yeah. So as you're doing the conversation, you should be able to say, oh, okay, remind me to send 3 emails and put together the workshop. All right, and then it would intelligently understand that it's 2 separate reminders that it needs to make, and then, act accordingly. Of course, when I arrived to my location, I was heading to a meeting. I forgot about the conversation. Now it's lost in the shuffle of my head. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is the main, like once we have that, this is gonna be epic. And I'm just gonna bring up a Miro board to kind of show you guys what I'm kind of thinking. So yeah, I'll just create a new board. So what we have currently is we have the phone. So let's say this is iPhone/Mac. And then we have, listen to mic or text input plus files, images, right? So these are the kind of inputs that get sent, and then these get sent to ChatGPT. And then we basically only have like a conversation. So now it just listens to, again, like follow up. And then we just have like back and forth. So maybe actually this arrow is like bidirectional. I can just get rid of this. All right, so this is what we have right now. What I want is when this is going, it should be able to do this, what we call function calling. And this is why they probably don't have it. It's because what this means is that you have to configure each function one by one. So I'm just gonna, oh geez. So let's say, add calendar event, right? That's one function. Then we would have send email. That's another function. And then send SMS or iMessage. Right, that's another function. And then I'm just gonna give you one more, like, initiate phone call. And that's the, whatever, 5, they're not aligned properly. Okay. So let's say we have these 4 functions. So the conversation still goes on back and forth, but whenever ChatGPT like notices that, oh, this has to be like some kind of function that I need to do, then it would initiate, either one of these. And I think this is the part that's currently missing, but I don't know why, because Siri can already do this. And I think Apple Intelligence was supposed to be that, you can do this thing. So I don't know why they haven't shown anything like this. Right, so when the person on the left, I forgot his name, was talking about like, oh, we need help with organizing the event, right? So like putting the event together. Like that could have been an ongoing conversation where it's like, okay, so now I want you to get my contacts. I want to invite these 6 people, and then look at their email in the contacts and send them an email that is like, hey, we have this new event. Then go into Google Calendar or go into my Apple Calendar, whatever, and invite these people. The event should be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Or 10 p.m. on whatever day it is. And then boom, invitation sent. It's like, okay, let's put together the playlist. Can you make sure to create a Spotify or Apple Music playlist out of that? Boom, then you have another thing that you saved a bunch of time on. So it's like, this is what's missing, I think. And this is the next level. This is the agentic function. Because this part here, this is the level chatbots, right? And then this is the action taking. The agentic functions that we're kind of missing currently. And the cool thing about the function calling is that it could take all information from your phone or from your Mac. So it could have relevant context from Apple device. It could see your email history, it could see your chat history, so it could have a better contextual understanding. Because right now, if I want to, let's say, like, this is the best example on why writing emails with ChatGPT is not something that people do, unless it's like like an email you need to like make formal. Is that because by the time I explain the whole context of the project that we're working on, and I explain everything, and I explain what I want to say and what I want to write in the email, and send that prompt, by that time I could just written the email myself. And people value time over everything. So the whole point of action taking is to save time. And this is the part that I'm missing here with this announcement today. Because every function that they showed was already possible to do by just opening either the ChatGPT app or just going to ChatGPT and doing that. Shu Yuan asks, "Oh, I am late. What was released today?" Yeah, Apple iOS integration. So basically, they showed that from now on you can use ChatGPT inside Apple Intelligence. So you can integrate ChatGPT into your Apple Intelligence. It shows it somewhere in the beginning. So you can have like a ChatGPT extension, ChatGPT integration inside Apple Intelligence. So when you start the chat, then you can just tap open in ChatGPT and it will save it into your chats, and you can keep working with them. So this is something that was not announced by Apple. And when you have a conversation, you can just do like threaded responses. But again, it's the same thing as if I were to they didn't say when it's gonna be available, but it sounded like it's gonna be available like today or right now. Unfortunately, I do not have it because I live in Hungary, and in the EU, this Apple Intelligence is not available. It says Apple Intelligence is not currently available in your country region. So we have to wait for the EU regulators to actually make up their minds about this. And on Mac, I don't know, same thing. So there's also like a Mac feature. What they demoed is you can, again, you can put in Apple Intelligence there, and then they opened the PDF and they sent it to ChatGPT with like full content. And then they could like keep going in the ChatGPT app. But again, this is like just like almost the same. It only saves like 5 seconds, which is not that much. So what I was talking about here is that we need action taking that can save our time. Otherwise, this technology is not going to get really adopted here. And if that action taking can be done using relevant context from my Apple device and from my previous conversations and my emails and so on, then that's something. But currently we don't have this part. So like this arrow is not here. So you can just do a little back and forth with ChatGPT, but then you have to do everything yourself. Which is, it's probably something that they're working on. I just don't understand, because these features are already Siri features. Like I can ask Siri to like remind me to, I don't know, feed my dog this evening, and it would put it in this evening at like 9 p.m. Nico says, or even more than save time, but leverage our time. It's a day 5 live. Nico, what do you mean by leverage our time? Freedom Fighter asks, is the day 5 live? Well, they said that it's gonna be available like from today or something. Let me see. Unavailable captions. I don't know exactly. I think they said that it's from now. You can just have ChatGPT. You probably need to like update your software or something. But the whole thing is ChatGPT is now added as an extension in iOS and in macOS. Nico says, like I do some of my best thinking in the car, but at the moment the ChatGPT is great, but doesn't leverage the thinking happening in the car. What do you mean that ChatGPT doesn't leverage the thinking? Like it cannot take action on those things that you do? Shuyuan says, so sounds like the iOS integration ChatGPT could not use our application on our phone. I mean, based on the demo that they showed, that's what it looked like. But I cannot say for certain because I do not have Apple Intelligence on my phone because I live in a poor European country. And we are at the mercy of the EU overlords when they will make us able to use these United States companies' tools. Kama says, if they do, it's the end of Siri. I think Apple doesn't want to be dependent on OpenAI. Well, it's probably, I mean, it wouldn't be dependence because you can just swap this thing. You can just swap it to your own language model. Like Apple can keep developing the language models that they're currently developing in the background. And then once they're tired of OpenAI, they just delete this thing, put in their own model, and it's good to go. Freedom Fighter. Wait, I missed the live. Can someone summarize it for me, please? Is it a big thing? It's not a big thing. I can summarize it for you. They launched ChatGPT extension inside Apple Intelligence. So now when you talk to Apple Intelligence, it's actually using ChatGPT, and you can open it in the ChatGPT app, so you can keep going in there. See, so now it's like opened it, and they did the same with the Mac feature where they would like have a file, and then they send the file to ChatGPT, which would run the code interpreter and take the information. And then you can also continue inside ChatGPT. Okay, so, and then the thing is, we can actually build some of these function calls on our own, right? So if you really want a feature, right, then what you can do is select some kind of input source. You need a way to input information to make scenario. So let me say that. Okay, let me show you guys how to actually build your own Pro Apple Intelligence. Ready for that? You want to see this? Type yes in the chat if you want to see how to rebuild your own Apple Intelligence in Make. Oh, I'm only seeing top chat, not live chat. What's happening? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna make a headline so if someone joins later, they will still see. So, how to build your what's happening? Your own Apple Intelligence in Make. Okay, House Scout says yes. Yeah, okay. So every make scenario has a trigger, right? So that's what starts the make scenario. I'll just make this smaller. All right, so we need to set up some way that we can input our thoughts to make. Okay, so there are a couple of options you can choose from, depending on how deep you want to go. There is Slack, WhatsApp, any of these chat tools. All right, so it could listen to like new message, audio, and so on. That's one that you can do. And I'm thinking about things like, giving it access from your phone. Actually, in Make, there is some kind of Apple iOS integration. Let me open up my Make and let's see what else we have. Freedom Fighter asks, what are your thoughts on Sora and O1? O1, I'm really bullish on. I think it's a game-changing technology. And for Sora, it's like, it's cool. And it's kind of the death of stock video industry as we know it right now. And it's a great tool for creating, like making stories. Okay, here we go. So, but yeah, I don't really see Sora is like, I know it's really cool tech, and for like making some content, it's really good, but I would need to like try it, see what we can do to see the real business perspective in it. It's like, you don't need to storyboard anymore if you're a filmmaker or cinematographer, because you can just get like these concepts to life a lot faster. So here we are in Make. What you can do is there's this Apple iOS, right? So it can watch calendar, triggers when a calendar event is added, modified on the device. You can watch a barcode, which is like triggers when you scan a barcode QR code. It can watch button, trigger when you push a button. It's interesting, how do they define a button? Oh, maybe we could map it to button ID. Oh, in the mobile app, there has to be a button. Okay. So let's delete that. Watch entrances to exits from a geofence area. So when you leave home, for example, watch photos, watch reminders. And then what it can do is create a calendar event, create a contact, create reminders, send push notification, upload photo. So like, it's not really like, open a voice message or something like that. So let's go back here. Options. Another option is super simple, is like send an email to AI. Basically, you can create an email like AI. Oh, I don't know what is this the ad symbol? Yeah, AI at company.com. Okay. Right, so then it can just read the contents of the email. And there are like other stuff, like you can make a new Google document, but those are not that convenient. Maybe you could like send text message, and then we'll see if there is like one that can trigger for like text message. SMS, maybe SMS. Search incoming messages. I mean, I don't know too much about like SMS features. There's probably one of these that I'm scrolling through right now that can be like, okay, let's see if, like watch SMS. Like if I get a new SMS. But I think Slack and WhatsApp, like just having a Slack channel where you just talk to your own AI is like plenty. So let's say I'm gonna just use Slack, for example. So Slack would be like you can just watch private channel messages, right? And then you set up for it to like watch maybe agent. like I have this, okay, from now on, right? So that you would watch these messages. Now, what we do next is we basically bring in ChatGPT and we implement the function calling. So first you need to have like a decision agent, which would be like a one-word response on next function to call. This is pretty much your prompt. Freedom Fighter, yeah, you can ask whatever you want, man. Are you a software engineer? No, I'm not. I'm a self-taught no-code developer / AI enthusiast / AI educator. I just love this stuff. So you have a decision agent, which is basically it outputs like one word, which would then be you would have a router in make. Let me just move these a little bit closer. Come a little bit closer. Okay. So then we would have the different routes. All right, so a router in make, what a router in make does is it just makes, okay, like you can set up a filter, and let's say this would be like maybe calendar. All right, so if there is a new calendar, maybe we need to be even more granular. So it's a new calendar event. Okay, so that's what the function caller GPT decides to do. And then this would be a GPT that like does the function. So in this case, this would have to respond in a JSON format how the calendar wants to receive it. Okay, and then you would have the create new event module in Google. And then you just basically duplicate this. But let's say instead of new calendar event, it would be modify calendar event. And then this would modify event. But then first we would need to probably like get an event, right? So there needs to be like a get function here. So actually, in this case, if it's like a modify calendar event, then you first need the GPT that does step 1, which is get event. And then it would also respond in a JSON format. How the calendar get request has to be structured. And then we would have the get event module with like Google Calendar. And then we would have the GPT that does the function to modify the event. And then every single function that you want your AI agent to do, you just need to have all of them written down. And then this decision agent, actually I'll just make it green. So it's like, you understand this is like AI. And then these ones are also AI. Okay, so this green is like ChatGPT. This is a router, which looks like this ugly green. And then these ones will be, in this case, Google Calendar. Just make it like blue, okay? And then this one was Slack in our case, which is like this. Oh my God, I need to make this white because my designer mentor will kill me. Okay. So then you would have this GPT know that, hey, here are the things you can do. You can create a new calendar event. If you want that, just say new _ calendar _ event. You can modify calendar event, then say modify _ calendar _ event. Very similar to, if you guys remember, the Zapier AI actions within custom GPTs. Nico says, or link to our task app like I use Todoist, and if it could add to my to-do list, which includes reminders from reminders, that would prompt me to activate. Yeah. So for you, Nico, we would have one more here. That would be called create to do. And then one prompt would be, hey, your task is to create a to-do, respond in the following JSON format. And JSON format, how the to-doist wants to receive information. And then this would be like create a new to-do. Right, so let's say it's yellow. I don't know what color the to-do is. And then you just build out all of the functions that you want. And then make sure that this agent understands what kind of functions do you have. Does that make sense? Any questions about this? Freedom Fighter asks, what's your definition of AGI? My definition of AGI is an AI system that can perform at a human level on any kind of knowledge-based task. And then ASI, which is like artificial superintelligence, is the one that surpasses human intelligence on knowledge-based tasks. All right, so let's just build this. We're building Apple Intelligence right now. So there will be a Slack channel. Watch is my message. Let me check if that channel is like, if it does anything. Agent. Oh, I remember I had some issues with this Slack integration. Because I wanted to make like a Slack bot. But we don't need that. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, let's say, choose where to start. Choose manually. Let's see what kind of messages are in here. Okay. So what I will do now is, I will send a Slack message to this agent. It says, create a new Google Calendar. No, just create a new event for tomorrow at 8:40 p.m. to go to the gym until 10 p.m. Okay, so that's the message. And now let's see, choose where to start, choose manually. Should be able to see that here. Yeah, create a new event for tomorrow. There we go. So if I now run this module, this is the text that we get. Okay. It says create a new event for tomorrow, 8:40 p.m. to go to the gym until 10 p.m. So that's great. Then what we have is, in this case, we would have a moderator. I'm just gonna use a GPT completion. And for this one, now I'll just use GPT 4.0. Doesn't matter. So I would say, there's a system prompt, which is you are a you are a decision maker agent, and your job is to decide which function to call next to complete the task the user wants. Here are the actions you can take. And I'm just gonna give it like 3 ones, like create to do, 2 would be create calendar event, and then 3 would be like send email. Okay, and it's very important. This is how you have to prompt the AI tools. Like, it's very important that you only respond with the exact action name and nothing else. Create to do creates a to do in Todoist. Create calendar event, creates a new calendar event in Google Cal. Send email, sends new email to recipient. Right, so I'm saying what is the function, and then what is the and then what the function does. Now for these ones it's like pretty self-explanatory, but then after a while it's like once you have like 25 of these, it's not going to be that self-explanatory. So it's very important that you only respond with the exact name and nothing else. Right, max completion tokens, you can reduce this to like 10. Make sure it only responds in like very short phrases. Maybe actually make it like 100, because I don't know how many tokens this is. Let's check actually. Tokenizer, token counter. Oh, it's 14, yeah. So yeah, so 100 should be fine. And then we build, so like that's the system prompt, and then the user prompt that we send is, here is the user's request, and then I just refer the text from the Slack, and I say date, and this, and let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sending the date because what if I say like, okay, like in 2 hours from now, date, and then that's probably again New York time zone, right? Because it's 2 p.m. Yeah, in New York time zone. Yeah, now this part is a pain in the ass, because sometimes different tools use different time zones, so you also need to make sure the AI can like convert the time zones. So I'm gonna rename this as well, so if someone new joins, I can show it, like we can say what we're doing here. So we are building Apple intelligence on our own, actually. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. So let's see if there's anything else. Maybe I need to lower the temperature a little bit. Yeah, I just lower it to like 0.2. The rest can stay as they are. Okay, so let's see if I run it. Yeah, there's no new message, so I need to again choose where to start, choose manually. Let's just select this. Nico, what are you referring to with whoops? Did I show something that I was not supposed to? Right, so let's see what we have. You can see the input was a system prompt that we wrote and a user prompt, right? And then the output is choices, one message. Oh, the result is also here, create calendar event. Right, so the result is there. So now we have the router. Okay, and the first one, we set up a filter. Condition is if this result, which is the response of this GPT, equals to create calendar event, then this one goes. Okay, so only then will this upper one run if I have create calendar event responded by this GPT. And then we would have one that is a new GPT. And before I can do that, I also need to add the calendar here. Google Calendar, create an event. Days G Suite, okay. So what we need is calendar ID. Okay, so I'll just use my primary calendar. We need event name. We need to figure out if it's an all-day event or not. It's a true false. And I can map it. I need to select the start date, New York time zone, okay? And date, New York time zone, and duration. Oh, I can either enter end date or duration. Okay? So these are the things we need. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask this little GPT to respond in a JSON format. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save a little time and show you guys also how to do this. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. Oh, I'm opening iRacing, sorry about that. No gaming time now, Dave. It's funny how Command Shift 4 actually opens iRacing. I guess it's because the fourth thing in my dock here. Okay, so I took a screenshot of this and I will just go to ChatGPT now, paste it in here, and I'll say, I want you to write a GPT prompt that can take that can take a text input and can output, that can take a text input of what kind of event I want to create, and can output the necessary information for the following fields in JSON format. Make sure you explain every detail the GPT needs to know to give great responses. Provide a sample JSON at the end of the prompt. So I'm not even spending time writing prompt. Nico asks, like we're mirroring a combo that was happening in ChatGPT with this make agent, but how does the message get to Slack initially? Well, you either open Slack and you type it in, or you open Slack and you send a voice message. If you, I don't know if you can like create a shortcut. Maybe you could create like an Apple shortcut where it would send a Slack message. Yeah, you can do that. It would send a Slack message to a specific channel. Or we could even set up we could even set up like an Apple shortcut that sends data to a webhook. Maybe that's probably a better way to do it. Okay, prompt for GPT. I will explain that in a second. So yeah, that's a really good point from you, Nico. Thank you. Thanks for making me think of that. I'm not used to using Windows. It's only been like half a week. It's killing me. Sorry guys if I just like open a random window. You're a highly intelligent assistant tasked with converting a natural language description of an event into a structured JSON format that includes specific fields required for creating a calendar event. The fields you need to populate are event name string. This is the title or main name of the event. Ensure it's concise yet descriptive. Team meeting, AI bootcamp week 2. Oh, you got it from my memory. That's really cool. All day event Boolean. This indicates if the event lasts the entire day. If user says it runs all day, well, it should be true. Otherwise, it should be false. Start date in ISO. Oh my God, it also figured out the format. The starting time and date of the event. If no specific time is mentioned, assume it starts at 9 a.m. in the user's stated or implied time zone. And then we can just change this a little bit if we want to. End date. The ending time of, if no date is mentioned but the duration is provided, calculate the end time using the duration. If it's an all-day event, the end date should be the same as the start date. Okay. So this is actually pretty cool. I think we should probably just leave the duration out and then just leave this one in the prompt so it always provides start date and end date. Because it can calculate it, and if there is none, then it's like, then duration is like assume 1 hour. Or we could get rid of the end date and then just the duration, just add the duration there. But it's probably better to just have the end date. More consistent that way, in my opinion. And we also need to send the output format. Okay. That's very good. Okay, so we need some adjustments, but otherwise it's pretty cool. It's a very good prompt. See, you guys don't need to write your prompts anymore. Is prompt engineering dead? Okay, so again, I'm really gonna use GPT-4o. I wanna make sure I get consistent responses. And I'm not even gonna bother with the system prompt. I'm just gonna send this prompt here. Okay, so let's review it. Oh my God, it's so unstructured. Yeah, this is one thing that I don't like that much about Make, is editing these fields. So let's just make this bigger. Okay, the fields you need to populate are 1, event name, 2, all day event, 3, start date, 4, end date. And then I need to just fix the duration part. End date starting in the ending time date event. If no end date is mentioned but the duration is provided, calculate the end time using the duration. If duration is provided without an end date, then calculate end date by adding duration to start date. If neither of them are provided, guess how long, maybe estimate is better, estimate how long that event might take. All right. Understand the context of the event. For example, phrases like 3 p.m. Okay, so I'm just going to say further instructions. Understand the context of the event. Oh, I really need to make sure that we have the time zone conversion. Right, and so this is why it's probably taking them a while to also ship this action taking. But it's like you just have to do this one by one. Example inputs. Example. I'm just gonna say example input 1 is this. Oh, I need to. Oh my God. Okay. What? Hold on. Expected output. Format JSON. And then it's an event name. Now I just put them together like this, maybe like lower. I'm not gonna make it lower. It's fine, I don't have the time for that. So end date and duration. So sample output for this one would be, yeah. Oh, okay, so that's the same. So I can just get rid of this one. Friendly strategy workshop in January. JSON output. Oh, no, I just made myself work even more. All day event. Yeah, I'll just do a 2-shot prompting. I'm not gonna do the last one. Oh, there was no more. Okay, cool. That's it. And now we give the text. So input, this is example input 2. And then now the task, process this text. Right, that's what we sent. Completion can be 2000, it's fine. The advanced settings, we must turn on JSON format, and we want to parse the JSON response. Temperature, we can also lower this to like 0. Oh, 1 is gonna be fine. Because I needed to also think a little bit, you know, like calculate the date and time and that kind of stuff. Oh, and I forgot to add the changes for converting the time zones. So further instructions. User will always refer to times in Hungarian time zone. I'm not sure if this can be made any smarter than this, but user will always refer to times in Hungarian time zone. Always convert those to New York time, which is 6 hours ahead. Now, it is 6 hours ahead, except 2 weeks each year when we go 1 week earlier or later to daylight savings time. So this would work, this automation would work flawlessly, except in those weeks, because then it will just schedule it 1 hour earlier or later. But for now, for testing, it's gonna be fine. And then we can worry about that a little bit later. Again, this is like an edge case that we might want to take a note of, but don't worry about it in the beginning. So yeah, that's the prompt. And then what we want to do now is we need to run the scenario once. I know that this event is actually I'm just going to delete this module now, and I'm going to run this. Oh, so Space runs it on Space runs it again. I didn't know that. Okay, so let's see what we get. So this is the result that we have. Okay, so it says gym session false, start date, end date, whatever. And it moved it to 240 for 840. That should be good. Okay, and duration is, why did it leave the duration? Oh, because I left it in the examples. So I just go and remove those maybe later. So I go to Google Calendar, create an event. Calendar ID, I just use this one. I could also map it. If I want to make this smarter, I could also map it to make sure it decides which calendar to use, right? So then it will just respond with it. But now I just go with this primary calendar, event name, and then we just map each field. All day event, I'll just use this. Why is that empty? False. I don't know why that is empty in here. Start date, New York time zone, end date, and then duration we'll just leave empty. Any advanced setting, description, location. Oh, okay, so we could also put these in. Attendees, And then we could also map those, right? So you can make it more and more advanced. But that's the idea. Let's see if it works. There we go. Created the event. Let me check on my phone if it's on the right spot, slot, whatever. It is. Oh, it even made like a cute little, hold on, let me show this to you guys. So it says gym session. Hope my camera can focus on it. So it says gym session from 8:40 to 10 p.m. It even made a little like illustration for it. I guess that's basic like Google Calendar feature. Is that sharp? There we go. Yeah. So it worked. And that's one feature, a basic feature that we built out now in like what? I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes. Right, so Freedom Fighter, are you still here? I'm gonna answer your question, why is O1 a big deal? If you're still here. So we basically just built this one thing. And then what we can do is instead of Slack, we can have this one be a webhook. And then we can configure a shortcut. I'm not exactly sure what's the right way to do it. But there is a function in the Apple shortcuts that allows you to like send an HTTP request. So then instead of having the Slack channel here, excuse me, I'll just save this as like Slack. Save it. And then oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing here. Okay. So I'll just make a duplicate. Clone. Webhook. Okay, so instead of having Slack here, we just delete this module. Yes, we delete anyway. And then instead we set up a webhook. Right, so this will be instant. So we just create a new webhook. Right, so this would be Apple shortcut agent. You can configure the data structure and so on. As I don't know yet what exactly that's going to be, I'm just going to set it up like this. And then we need to somehow configure this in Apple shortcuts. Which I currently don't know from top of my mind how to actually do. But I know there's like a workaround. So then what you would have, the workflow that you would have is you activate the shortcut by saying, blah, 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 Siri. I just don't want to say it because then it just triggers. Open agent. And then it would open the shortcut, listen to you to give it the text or like the voice. And then it would transcribe it and send the text over to this webhook. And then it can process it. And that way you also have it instant, instead of having it to like check the Slack channel every minute. So again, that's something you can also work on and do. But then for that, we would need to configure the Apple shortcut. Web. Is it actually web? Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to set that up. I'll do some research on how to set this webhook up, and then I'll just let you guys know. All right, so let's summarize what we had today with Apple or with OpenAI. So they basically launched Apple Intelligence inside, or ChatGPT inside Apple Intelligence, where you can just connect it to your ChatGPT account. And then any conversation you have with Apple Intelligence is gonna be saved to your ChatGPT profile. And you can just go through it from the history and so on. And we also had threads inside the Apple Intelligence. They didn't show any kind of function calling, which is why I went on this whole side quest on explaining you guys how to build the function calling, doing all of this. And then what we had is, oh, my screen is not scrolling. Then what we had is it could also take photos and use the vision capabilities. And we had it the same in macOS, where you could, like, if you had a file open, then you could just send that file to ChatGPT and then make it process it. Even do other stuff, but that was already inside the ChatGPT app. So that's it for today. A little underwhelming announcement, but I hope that they're also working on these function calling features so that we don't have to build everything for ourselves to save a couple minutes here and there. Because let's be honest, like building these functions one by one for just like personal things like making calendar events is probably not worth it, not worth the time. Because first of all, Siri is still decent at creating these events, and you have to handle so many edge cases like this time conversion, especially with like the daylight savings time. So that's a little bit of a challenge. And maybe it takes like 30 minutes to put together one function. I don't know if that's ever gonna, like if I'm ever gonna earn back the time. Let's say I started using this. If I'm ever gonna earn back the time to actually do this before they launch the native feature where I can just tell it to Apple Intelligence and it just creates the event for me. So if this was a feature that I would use a lot more often, maybe like multiple times a day, then it's probably worth it. But I don't schedule events like that. Like I usually just open my calendar, look at where I have an opening, and then I just put it in there. So again, not that like highly useful feature, but I hope this was useful on how you can create a function calling agent that decides which function to call, and then how to build like a sample of each function. So that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow on the next day, which is going to be day 6 of 12 Days of OpenAI announcements. And in the meanwhile, have an awesome rest of your day, night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.